welcome to Gemstone Tarot. This is a shadow reading for anyone who needs to hear the message. Sometimes I kind of wake up and I just, not often, but sometimes I know what I need to do, and today I just knew that I needed to do this, so I'm bringing you this video. Nice, 4 of Wands. I'm just hoping that it can give you what you need really in terms of your own shadow work. And when I talk about shadow work, you know, I'm not a therapist, and this might bring things up for you that you need to work through with somebody, with a professional, or it may just give you some kind of pinpoint as to where you're at the moment. For me, shadow side it's shadowy, so it's difficult to describe, but it's the side of life or the side of yourself, usually that you're trying to avoid because nobody wants to step into the shadows. But it's kind of the thing that comes knocking. There are certain things in your life that keep knocking at your door until you're ready to hear it, okay? Until you're ready to process it, until you're ready to integrate it into yourself, okay? So this is simple. We're just doing a simple reading to look at what comes up and see what comes up. And like I say, if things come up for you that are difficult, then you need to look at how to deal with those things. But first, sometimes it's even the process of identifying them that is the hardest thing to do. So I am going to use the Vice Versa Tarot because I feel like the Vice Versa Tarot has, well, for a start, it's a tarot that has the front as the day and the back as the night. So it's a card of shadows. It's a pack of shadows, but it's also a pack which is vice versa. It's a bit topsy-turvy. I think it works very much, yeah, for our purposes. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. I'm also going to work with the Goliath Tarot, which is a shadow deck. It's kind of shamanistic as well. And again, I don't know a great deal about shamanism, but I sort of know when the flavours of it are coming into something, okay? I hope that makes sense to you. And you can go as far as you like with finding out about shamanism and what that means to you and your particular journey. There's loads of different videos on that on YouTube. That's why YouTube is good, isn't it? Because there's a video about everything. Okay. This is really interesting and probably the cards I would have predicted if I could have predicted. Whew. Okay, let's start. At the bottom, we got the 9 of Wands, and this is a card of self-defense, okay? And there is, sorry, my hair is all over the shop this morning. There is a fine line, isn't there, between boundaries, where your boundaries are, and I feel that this reading may be to do with boundaries, and being defensive, okay? This is the difference between healthy boundaries and being defensive. And immediately the thing that springs to mind when I see the 9 of Wands is when we build our boundaries from the outside. So like in the 9 of Wands, there's always somebody building a fence. They've always got all the wands up, and then it's like, and this, and they've got another like massive wand. It's like, if that wasn't enough, come and have some of this, you know. It's building a fortress. It's often kind of over egging the pudding, okay? So there is a difference between building healthy boundaries which come from within, which are fairly kind of, even if they're wobbly, and let's face it, when you're first building boundaries, they're going to be wobbly because you're sort of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. But the more authentic they are, and the more internal they are, the more they're going to stick, and the more energetically they're going to operate in the universe as a boundary. Now, a boundary, and this is just coming to me as a hunch with this, boundary needs to have a certain amount of breathability, okay? Because life is a breathable experience. And if your boundaries are all built rigid, that's okay for a while. Do you remember, I don't know what reading it was, but the other day, we were talking about fake it till you make it. Sometimes if boundaries are an issue for you, you start with building them on the outside because at least you can see them and other people can see them. And even if you can't hold them, at least they're there, okay? But then from within that kind of canopy, you can come backwards and feel like, what am I working from? What am I actually really afraid of? What do I feel weakest about? Okay, and this is something that often has shame attached to it. It can bring up feelings of inadequacy, you know, all of the really good stuff. And that is what I'm talking about for the shadow side, okay? Not particularly what you might do when you read an article online, or, you know, you see something in the media, or wherever we get our information, or you get a feeling, I should be, you know, putting out these boundaries. I should say this. I should put my thing there and everybody should know. And then within you're like, you know, I hate myself for this. I can't keep it up. You don't feel congruent. You don't feel in line with that boundary, okay? In order to really make a boundary, it's sometimes better to deconstruct the shadow side and start from zero, okay? That's what I'm getting from the Nine of Wands, which in this reading is well, I've got 2 cards, or 3 cards in the upright, okay? Because this is a shadow reading. Then we get the Hermit. Hermit by day and Hermit by night is not very different. The Hermit is a shadow card, major arcana. Virgo energy, earthy energy, but more the energy of the ascetic, or the person who deconstructs their life by undoing all of their kind of safety mechanisms. And I am not suggesting that you immediately go and outdo all your safety mechanisms, because, you know, like I say, there is a thread of having to live in the universe with what you've got and not to overwhelm yourself. But the Hermit at least shines a light. In other words, we all have our safety mechanisms, healthy or otherwise, okay, that get us through the day or get us through the night, the week, the month and the year, whatever it is. And that's just a very human thing, and sometimes they're very necessary. You can't just deconstruct your whole safety mechanism, you just fall through the cracks. But it's important to know what they are. It's important to shine a light on them and to understand who you are, where you're coming from, where the chinks are, and how you, what sticking plasters you've got holding things together. You don't need to rip those plasters off. Just the fact that you know where they are, how they make you behave, and where you have those weaknesses makes you a strong and authentic individual. It means that you can build your boundaries from the inside while knowing and accepting all of your flaws. And that's what the shadow reading is about. And that's what the Hermit turns inwards to achieve. That light looks like it's actually really shining. And what you may discover there may be difficult to absorb. It's usually, like I said, it's usually got quantities of shame involved, quantities of discomfort, of embarrassment, or feelings of weakness or loss of power, or whatever it is. All of those things affect everybody every day, no matter how you appear on the outside. You know, even if you're looking, and I know that a lot of you aren't always looking at people's social media, but if you are looking at any kind of media is about presenting. It's about presenting a front. It's about everything seeming to be great, or even when things are presented as not so great, they're not so great in quite a filtered way, okay? Most people, as they say, are living with difficulties. They're living with inadequacies. They're living with the parts of themselves they would rather avoid. This reading is about embracing those parts of yourself, but doing it in a way which is gentle, which is compassionate towards yourself. And that's what the Hermit does. You just shine a light. You don't have to change it immediately. You don't have to be a superwoman, a superman. You don't have to, you know, but like I say, with the Nine of Wands, you don't have to build your fortress. You don't have to have others see you doing it. It's a slow process. Okay. Then we have, now I never know with these whether they're, yeah, it's hard to tell on the suits with the vice versa tarot. We've got the Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Two of Pentacles in the reverse is Jupiter in Capricorn, and it's about not feeling like you can be flexible. When you've got the Two of Pentacles in the upright, you're going through this infinity symbol and you're juggling these pentacles through it. I feel like with this, it might be necessary or possible for you to change up routine a little bit, okay? And this can be very small, like which breakfast cereal you eat, or what time you get up, or what time you go to bed, or something. It's about slight disturbances in routine, not enough to make you really uncomfortable. Like I said, this is a very gentle shadow process, okay? Slight disturbances in routine just to make you a little bit more aware of how you live, what you're doing, whether you're happy doing what you're doing, whether you're fulfilled in certain areas. And again, you don't have to do anything about it. We are in the shadow now of Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, and that's in the middle of October. It's not particularly a time for, you know, taking action and correcting everything and striding forward. If we're really going to do this process thoroughly, and process is a process, you're going to be doing it in small leaps of recognition. Shine a light, have a look. Oh yeah, I see what that is. That's a bit stinky. Do you know what I mean? I'll acknowledge that and I'll just put it back. And then I'll come back later when I'm feeling stronger and I'll have another look. It's that, okay? Questions of how you earn your living, whether it's connected to who you are emotionally. Am I being authentic? Is there something I'd rather do than what I'm doing that I'm afraid to even think about? Never mind start. Like I said, it's probably not the right timing for starting, although that is of course up to you. But it might be time just to even think about, can I even contemplate what I really want to do could be possible for someone like me? Self-worth, okay? Again, a shadow side. What people might have told you, the story you've been brought up with about what you should be doing, what you are doing, and how you're good at this and you're not good at that. Don't have to rewrite the story. We just have to know the pages of the book. Recognize the cover, okay? Quite deep reading this is. I'm doing Yoda. If I start speaking like Yoda, you know it's a deep reading. Okay. 9 of Cups in reverse. This is about the things that we truly want in our heart, but we are afraid to even think about reaching for. That's the same thing as the 2 of Pentacles, but it's the emotional side. What's holding us back? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy, the energy of the water, the subconscious. This goes deep. This is not something to pull out of the hat in 5 minutes, okay? This is all part of the murky process that has been coming into you probably, and I don't know why this is so significant. We had a full moon in Scorpio on about the 7th of May, and I started doing some shadow readings then. And I feel like since then, and I suppose it's because we're moving into Scorpio fairly soon, and I'm fairly sure we got Mercury moving into Scorpio. I'm not an astrologer, but it's that kind of, and we're returning to this kind of primeval soup energy, or the energy of being at the bottom of a well. And this is where we literally, like the Hermit, we sit at the top of the well and we see what comes to the surface. Again, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to deal with it particularly, but we just need to be able to shine a light on it, to recognize it, and to gently process it, okay? Now we have the 8 of Wands in reverse. This is about communicating. It may not be important for you or necessary or comfortable for you to be able to communicate everything that you learn from this shadow experience or working through your shadow side. Often people, look this up, people recommend journaling, which is a private way of writing to yourself or writing to the universe. It feels like with the Hermit energy, that this is a dialogue between you and the universe, okay? Now, obviously, if this does bring up things for you and you're working with a therapist, or you have a trusted network of close people you can trust, these are people you will always be talking to anyway. But what I'm saying is it might not be necessary to share this to a wider audience, even if that's something that you regularly do, okay? You may feel, just for this period of time, and I would say that this was probably until about the end of November time, when we've got a full moon eclipse in Gemini, where I feel like there will be more communication and talking. that this will feel quite close to home, okay? This is quite close to home. And again, we've got the Knight of Cups in reverse. You might not want to give out offers in certain ways or receive offers in certain ways. It's a bit like being in a kind of suspended... It is the Hermit. It's just being in that way where you just slightly... You're not feeling apart from everybody, because that's a lonely experience, but you're just feeling yourself and the world. You're feeling that strong, earthy connection. You see how he hits the ground with this stick? A bit like Gandalf. Thou shalt not pass. Where it's about you finding your plumb line to the universe, where you belong. Even if that is... in the ugliest sense, you don't feel you belong, but you're finding your truth about where your zero is. Where am I starting from? Okay, so that I can begin to reconstruct this in a way that I actually want it and desire it to be. Okay, I'm going to take an El Goliath card. I don't think I need as many as I thought I did, actually, of the El Goliath, because I think the vice versa has very strongly... Oh my God, okay. One of them's just flown off the table. I don't even know how elegantly I can retrieve this. 1 second. Because we have to have it. Sorry if you just got a massive side view of my head. Oh yeah. I don't believe it. We get the Shadow Dream Catcher. This is what comes to you in dreams, in daydreams. Again, you just be careful with yourself about this. Only do as much as you can manage in terms of inviting, you know, different dreams into your life. But this is about being open to looking at your dream world and your subliminal world as well as your 3D world. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take one more in a minute of these. It feels... I'm going to have to shuffle it. Okay, you won't believe which other cards showed up. Do leave a comment, by the way, if you feel that you're able to and you're able to help others with their shadow work, but only leave a comment if you feel comfortable. You know, this may be the kind of video that you don't really want to leave a comment on, and that's also completely fine. Oh my God, how gorgeous is that? Right. Oh my God. Okay. We have the King and the Queen of Pentacles coming up together. I love this. This is masculine and feminine energies, the external and the internal, and the Pentacles is the earth, coming into alignment with who you really are, whoever that is, however difficult that may be, and wherever you may think you lie in the kind of, in your own internal pecking order of how things should be or are. It's just leveling with yourself where your zero is, where you're starting from, okay? It's very solid. It gives you something to build on when it's the King and Queen of Pentacles. God, I love that. Then we get the Hermit again, okay? Very, very important card, the Inner Master, along with the Strength card, self-mastery, okay? It's all about the same thing. It's literally at this point looking into the well, being relaxed as you can about it, and finding your level, okay? Wherever that is, acknowledging it, reaching a point where you can almost celebrate it no matter what, okay? And then we get the Ten of Cups. Mars in Pisces, beautiful energy. I mean, I just love that card. Just remember, this is just a reading for the time you're in at the moment, okay? This energy will shift, of course. This energy will change. Even if you're in energy that is difficult and uncomfortable, don't push yourself too far to resolve it. You don't have to solve everything quickly. This is, again, as I've said several times, it's a shadow process, and it's a gentle process, and it goes as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable with, okay? I really hope this reading has helped you. Please let me know if that is the case, okay? And yeah, do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you again. Namaste.